Those guys walk in the building, obviously these guys notice something.
They're dropping us into grease, and the grease has been hot lately.
I don't like to lose, and I'm going to try my hardest to not lose there.
I like to win. They like to win. I'm going to do whatever I can to help win.
Seeing that name pop up again on my phone, I was like, maybe this is a sign that this is where I was supposed to be.
If it starts to turn into work, something's wrong.
It was a dream come true. Everything I hoped it would be and more.
It's a real feeling to be out here.
I just want to be able to give back to Lawrence, to my community.
Made an effort to call me every week, and that meant a lot to me.
I think everybody's excited to watch KU now.
My name is Tamara Poindexter, and you're watching K Nation.
Crushed it. That was great.
Woo! Thank you, man.
K Nation, sponsored by 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Tonight on K Nation, a one-on-one chat with the Super Bowl champ himself, K-Stater turned KC chief. It's Echo Boydo joining the show while giving back to the local community.
Plus, Lawrence Journal World sports editor Henry Greenstein is in studio. Will KU add one more scholarship player for the upcoming season? And what's one area that Coach Self has his work cut out for him in?
And a local football standout picks Jayhawks and why he's not worried about adjusting from 8-man football in Axtell to 11-man football in Lawrence and in the Big 12.
Well, welcome into K Nation. Caroline Soro with Glenn Kinley here. You can take the football out of the season, but you can't take it away from us.
No, it's always football season in our minds. It's not fall yet, but it is camping season. We're not talking about camping out for games in Allen Fieldhouse. We're talking about summer football camps, some of them youth, some otherwise. But college guys giving back this week quite a bit despite that heat. It was a hot one, but it was the rain that moved this Wamego youth football camp to K-State's indoor facility. There was supposed to be a combo of Jayhawks and Wildcats in Boomtown. When they moved to Manhattan, it ended up being just K-Staters. I'm told the Hawks will get over to Wamego and help out later this summer. Avery Johnson, Wesley Fair, Cody Stufflebean, and Mikey Bergeron, all Kansas kids and all giving back to some younger Kansas kids in Manhattan. Former Jayhawk running back Jake Sharp helped put the event together with over 200 campers getting in on the fun.
Being a young kid, it's really just all about having fun, and I feel like as you get older, if you lose that fun and can't find that fun in the game, then there's really no reason to play it anymore.
Technique's not the biggest thing today. It's just about getting them out and for football, having some fun. For me, when I went to things like this, it was really a thing where it motivated me to want to work harder.
You know, it's supposed to be fun. I think that's the most important thing. If it starts to turn into work, something's wrong at the youth sport level. I just encourage the parents and the young athletes to just have fun and don't overdo it.
And, of course, some time for autographs at the end there. Fun. Avery does say that these summer workouts, not just because of the weather, but they have been hard at it. He says the grease has been hot. The Wildcats getting after. I'm sure Coach True has been all over.
Fun stuff there. And yesterday, Big 12 champ and Super Bowl champ, not sure which one is better
Both
here. Both
impressive.
Yes, Echo Boydo hosted his own free youth camp over in Lawrence. He's a Lawrence High grad, by the way. Smiles all around all day long, but none bigger than his proud father, Kofi.
It's a blessing. I mean, that's all that I can say. I'm just like in La La Land, in the dreamland. To see this happen today, it's a blessing.
So much fun there. Well, we have that one-on-one coming up with Echo later in the show. You won't want to miss it.
Kofi and Echo and some of his other family members actually went back to Ghana this summer to show off the Super Bowl ring. Or I guess he didn't have the ring at that point, but to talk about the Super Bowl, he certainly got a warm welcome there. Let's keep an eye on this nomination for Big 12 Athlete of the Year.
Starting with K-State, you know him, Cooper Beebe gets the nod. The Cowboy was the Big 12 Lineman of the Year. And on the women's side, it's Ayoka Lee. The dominant center was a unanimous Big 12 first-team selection.
For the Jayhawks, Clayton Sims is the male nominee after just missing finals at the Olympic trials. He did, though, win the Big 12 outdoors and place second in the NCAA Outdoor Championship. On the women's side, it's Topeka's own Cameron Turner. She was named the Big 12 Setter of the Year with the Jayhawks, who did make a run to the NCAA tournament, by the way. They even hosted some games, and the winners of that award, Big 12 Male and Female Athlete of the Year, will be announced this Wednesday. Well, let's talk about a future Jayhawk, shall we?
Let's do it.
He's a local kid, too, and he caught KU's eye very early, even from 8-man football in the small town of Axtell, Kansas.
Yes, that's Brandon Schmelsley, who committed to KU football a week ago today. He's got one more year of high school before he dons the red and blue, but like you said, with the 8-man to 11-man, the uniform's not the only thing he'll be adjusting next season. I drove out to Axtell this week to catch up with him. Football is taking a kid from a town of 400 to Big 12 country. A journey that all started with a phone call.
I was actually at state basketball and I got a FaceTime call from my area coach, which was Coach Z.
From KU football's Coach Z and defensive coordinator Brian Borland. It was the first of many conversations that ultimately made Brandon the first Axtell Eagle to go D1. But he'll have to adjust from playing 8-man to 11-man football.
We watch a lot of film, and so I should take that skill into college, and that should help me out.
Neither Brandon or his coach are worried.
You know, a lot of it is, just game time, film time, and listen to their coaches and, just repetition at practice and, understanding the game.
Something Brandon does well after playing virtually everywhere. A common role in the 8-man game, though he plans to focus on defense at KU.
One of the most incredible athletes that we've had, can cut on a dime and can willing to work, and just does everything right, all the time. And, that's just something special that you can't teach.
The other thing you can't teach, winning. Brandon has not lost a game in high school, helping the Eagles to 3 undefeated state championship seasons, a mentality he plans to pack up and bring to Lawrence.
I don't like to lose, and I'm going to try my hardest and to not lose there.
And actually, it's worth noting that Brandon's the first of his family to break the mold and go to KU. Everybody else went to K-State.
They're all Wildcats. The good news is the Axtell colors are already Jayhawk colors.
They're already been
well, they can just wear the
Yeah.
Axtell gear to the games and
nobody has to get mad.
Exactly.
Yeah, everything's good.
Yeah.
Well, earlier this week, we obtained a copy of Coach Jerome Tank's new contract with K-State men's basketball.
That's right. He turned down that Arkansas job opening over the offseason. In response, Gene Taylor sweetens the pot a little bit. Here's some key details for you. He gets a $500,000 base pay raise to stick around through the 2031 season. He made $3 million last year. It'll be $3.5 million this upcoming season. There's also a $100,000 annual raise, so it'll be $3.6 million the following season, so on and so forth. Regardless of the season outcome, by the way, he makes a $200,000 retention bonus each year. And then, of course, there's some updated buyouts in that contract. If Tang leaves, he would now owe the university $5 million. That number decreases by $1 million after each season. If Tang were to be let go, he'd be owed $18.6 million this season. That number decreases by $3 million after each season. A full breakdown, because that was a lot to unpack. You can read all about it at KSNT.
I might need to be reading about it.
Hey, don't go anywhere. We got more K-Nation still to come. In fact, we got Super Bowl champ Echo Bordeaux and also Henry Greenstein in studio. Plus, Ayoka Lee returns with the Wildcats, but surrounded by all sorts of talent. We hear from K-State's 2 portal pickups. Straight ahead.
Plus, in his own words, Gunnar Boyne recaps a dream-come-true experience at the U.S. Open. Meanwhile, another Jayhawk golfer wins big in England. We'll be right back.
Is that me?
No, it's me, your fireplace. Creosote buildup in my flue can not only be smelly, but it can also be dangerous and cause damage.
Now's the time to have your chimney inspected and cleaned. Call Certified Fireplace and Chimney today.
Hi, Clay Sherwood here with Frank and Dean, the CEOs of Cube.
And they want to make sure you're keeping your pool clear this summer with Aquasil, a truly chlorine-free solution. Let swims and sweeps keep you cool this summer.
Ladyfingers Automotive. Family-owned auto repair with hands that understand your vehicle. Quality repairs done at an affordable cost. When you're in need of service, repair, or towing, remember Ladyfingers Automotive.
Get an 11% rebate on all doors at Menards. For over 50 years, Mastercraft has been building quality doors. Shop our huge selection of in-stock doors or design your door your way, in-store or online. This 6-panel pine interior door is $169.99 after rebate. Seal out the weather with Larson Storm Doors. This Liberty Storm Door is easy to install and is just $134.99 after 11% rebate, now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Central Plains CDL was the best experience. The program was 6 weeks long. I graduated in just under 4 weeks. Cal gave me the training and knowledge so that I was able to pass my test. I'm about to start my career, and I'm very looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting.
The biggest stars start their morning with Today. Next week, Lainey Wilson and Gracie Abrams turn up the heat on our plaza. Plus, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. And Monday, Jennifer Gardner and Andy Cohen live in Studio 1A. Only on Today.
What are you guys most excited for this summer?
Playing golf at the beaches.
When your chimney decides to join the dinner party uninvited, call Certified Fireplace and Chimney. We're the experts in chimney repairs and replacements. Don't wait for a brick to crash your next gathering. Call now.
Welcome back to K-Nation. Last week we introduced you to a couple of KU women's basketball transfers, but now let's feature some Wildcats.
Let's do it. Coach Jeff Mitty got a lot of experience with Tamira Poindexter and Kennedy Taylor. Taylor, a Shawnee Mission Northwest alum. She spent one season at Colorado, but her last two really good with Missouri State. She was named the conference's sixth man of the year. I should say sixth woman of the year maybe for this past season. Poindexter comes to Manhattan after 3 seasons with Tulsa, which happens to be her hometown. She was named the AAC Player of the Year this past season as a junior. She leaves third time on the all-time scoring list for the Golden Hurricane. They both have had all sorts of collegiate success, but share one common reason for joining the Cats.
I'm very physical in the post. I like physicality. And rebounding, I feel like, is one of my many strong suits. I feel like I just try to get into the right place, trying to make sure that I was doing anything I could to help my team and help us win.
I like to win. They like to win. I'm going to do whatever I can to help win. It was honestly, like I said, one of the reasons I came here. I think it's amazing how, dedicated they are. I think it's something that I needed to be a part of and wanted to be a part of. I like to shoot the 3 a lot. I think they can expect to see me shoot the 3 ball.
A couple of key additions after losing, of course, a big piece in Gabby Gregory.
Right.
And that's after the Cats reached as high as number 2 in the country last season. Also impressive to note, they kept a lot of impressive guards. Serena Sundell, the Glenn twins, Ziona Walker, Taryn Sides. Lots of times when you add really good transfers or when you have everybody come back, other people leave because they say, I don't know if there's enough to go around for me. But they got a lot of loyalty over there.
Seems like all they're doing is adding here. Could be scary.
It could be really good. Hey, we've been following along with KU golfer Gunnar Bryant. Speaking of really good, the last couple of weeks, and we got to talk to him this week. Well, he qualified for the U.S. Open, and then he did pretty well there.
Yes, he did. That's one of the 4 major golf tournaments on the PGA Tour, by the way, so big deal. But not only that, he did make the cut, beating out some big names and allowing him to play in the final 2 rounds. It was quite the experience for the Jayhawk senior.
It was a dream come true, to keep it short. It was everything I hoped it would be and more. Obviously, just getting there and starting the week off was pretty cool. To make the cut and to kind of do it like I did was pretty cool. It was a wild week and weekend, and man, I wouldn't have traded it for anything.
Well, a dream come true, and he actually wasn't the only standout this week.
That's right. There must be something in the water in Lawrence for those golfers. KU senior Lily Hurst won the English Women's Open Championship in her hometown, or homeland, I should say, of the UK this week. Not only that, but beat the second place by 4 strokes. She hit -6, and her teammate, Joanna Ebner, actually placed 4th. A pretty good weekend for the Jayhawks over there.
I would say so. Well, stick around, because coming up after the break, the world champ is back in town. We talk one-on-one with Echo Boydo. That's next.
Searching for a career in advanced manufacturing or industrial automation? Manhattan Area Technical College's new Industrial Engineering Technology applies science and engineering through theory and hands-on application of skills. Learn more at manhattantech.edu.
Hi, this is Voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you will be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. For 24/7 non-judgmental support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Play It Again Sports is your golf headquarters. Come try out a new driver or iron set in our new indoor T-Turf driving cage. We offer a full range of new and used golf equipment from Cleveland, Srixon, Wilson Staff, Proline, and more. No matter your skill set, you'll find everything that you need to take your game to the next level for less. Bring in your quality used gear to save even more by trading in and trading up, or get cash on the spot. We are buying all day, every day. Play It Again Sports, 21st and Fairlawn in the Fairlawn Plaza Mall.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Donald.
We're here at the first CBD American Shaman in Kansas. Everybody knows it's a challenge to advertise CBD in the state of Kansas. They won't even let us show you the products we sell.
None of this, none of that. Definitely not any of that. We can show you this. A lot of people enjoy the benefits of our body lotion.
We're proud to say we're the first CBD stores in Kansas. We've been trusted to help our community and provide one-on-one customer service. Go to one of our locations in Manhattan, 21st and Randolph, and North Topeka.
Manhattan Area Technical College will help you build a foundation for your college career, like transferable credits offered in your high school, earning your high school diploma through GED completion on our campus. Break through to a new career. Manhattan Tech, providing higher education.
Welcome back. K-State football alum and Super Bowl champ Echo Boy Doe has had quite the journey to the NFL, but before that he was suiting up with Lawrence High.
Yes, he was. That's where his first ever kids camp was yesterday. He took the time to talk with me, of course, about camp, but also about going into year 2 with the Chiefs.
How exciting is it to be putting in the work over the summer and just getting ready for year 2 in the pros?
It's very exciting. Coming off my first year Super Bowl ring, couldn't be more encouraging than that. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and how was it to get that Super Bowl ring a couple weeks ago? Was that pretty cool?
Yeah, it's very sweet. It's definitely everything I imagined and a little bit more. So hell of a season.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's it like to be back out here on this field? I know this is where you played in high school, and is this the first time you've been back here at Lawrence High since you've, gone to K-State and gone to the pros?
Yeah, it's actually not my first time. I've came out here and worked out a little bit, but it's definitely a little more special being back here where I used to play in high school and having my own camp here. First annual camp.
What was the inspiration to do camp? Is it something that you've seen other guys do, something that you did when you were a kid? What was the inspiration to be like, you know what, I'm gonna start doing this every single year?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I always wanted to go to all those camps. That was like the most exciting thing for me. And also, yeah, seeing other guys do it. And I just want to be able to give back to Lawrence, to my community. And this is the best way I can do it.
Yeah, and is there part of it being free that's kind of a big deal to where it just creates access for anybody here?
Yeah, that's also another reason. Growing up, just, sometimes we weren't able to go to all the big camps and stuff, so I wanted to be able to give everybody easy access to come and just be able just to sign up and show up, so yeah.
Awesome, that's awesome. And of course, everything that you've learned is, obviously at the highest level possible now that you're in the league, but what can you translate down to these guys that are out here working out today?
Yeah, just life skills, not just all technique and things on the field, but off the field things too. Just kind of just sharing about my story and how, things weren't always sweet. It took a lot of hard work to get where I am right now. So just giving them that knowledge and also showing them little technique things on the football field. So, yeah.
Yeah, do you feel like your story is maybe an inspiration for them? Like, hey, I did it, you can do it.
Yeah, definitely. Coming from Lawrence, not the biggest guy, didn't have much hype or anything. So I feel like that should be encouraging for them to hear and just to go chase your dreams.
Let's talk a little bit more about that first year. I mean, what do you feel like? Was it a learning experience for you? Was it like, did things click right away? Kind of what was the vibe?
It was definitely a learning experience. Definitely a big transition coming from college to the NFL, especially playing in a great organization like the Chiefs. Definitely a big learning curve, but I was able to pick up on it pretty quickly, and the rest is history. Yeah.
Yeah, Super Bowl history, right? Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Who do you feel like are the guys that you've been learning from the most, veteran-wise, over there in KC?
I would say guys like L.J. Sneed when he was here, Trent McDuffie, really the whole group, Jalen Watson, Josh. I could list all the guys in that room. Justin Reed, he's probably the biggest one. He definitely was able to help me out, and he kind of singled in on me. I felt like during mini camp and training camp, he saw potential in me, and that was very encouraging for me.
That's awesome. And you and Felix, I'm sure Felix is ready to go too. What's it like to be out there with him? I mean, I know people probably ask you that all the time, Wildcats, turned Chiefs, but how cool is it to be out there with one of your one of your former teammates.
Yeah, it's awesome. Just having that familiar face. And he's one of my best friends, so it just worked out perfectly. And I love going to war with him. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you guys live close in Kansas City, or do you live out here? Do you guys kind of hang out? I mean, outside of, being on the team?
Yeah, we're actually, he's in the building right next to me in Kansas City, downtown Kansas City. So, yeah, we hang out all the time.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Cool. Well, hopefully you have a lot more of that in the future. That's cool. Thanks so much for joining us, and wish you the best of luck rest of the summer and the season.
Thank you.
Second time Echo Bordeaux has been a guest on K Nation.
Friend of the program.
By the way, hey, more K Nation comes up after the break. Don't go anywhere. Lawrence Journal World's Henry Greenstein in studio. We're going to talk a little Jayhawk basketball and football up next.
Car wrecks don't just happen from 9 to 5. If you're in a wreck, we're available 24/7.
Don't wait until tomorrow to get the help you need now. In a wreck, need a check?
Patterson Legal is the way to go. Call 431-0000.
Me new All Sensitive Fresh. It's a game changer for me and my family.
Now All has a detergent that's gentle on skin and leaves our laundry smelling greasy.
All Sensitive Fresh with a hypoallergenic scent my family loves.
Some do it because they have better things to do with their time than cleaning their home's windows inside and out, downstairs and upstairs.
Squeegee Squad, Squeegee Squad.
Some do it because they have no business being on a ladder cleaning their own windows, gutters, and solar panels.
Squeegee Squad.
Even do-it-yourselfers in Topeka, Manhattan, Lawrence, and surrounding areas are doing it. Calling Squeegee Squad in Topeka.
Let it shine all the time. Squeegee Squad, Squeegee Squad.
You know, you've probably heard it said that some people have to hit rock bottom before they really come to the Lord and give Him their life. And that's what happened. I probably had a lot of anxiety at that point about my future. But as I began to study the Word and a lot of Dr. Stanley's teachings and sermons, I began to realize that through the love of Jesus, God saved me for a purpose.
Live with Kelly and Mark are Emmy winners.
My phone, as the young kids say, was blowing up.
Yes. Next live, Steve Gutenberg, plus smart money moves.
Monday at 11 on 27 KSNT.
Big truck accidents have resulted in big money for our clients.
In a wreck, need a check? Call us today.
Patterson Legal is the way to go. Call 431-0000.
Well, welcome back into K Nation. We're joined with a very special guest here today, Henry Greenstein from the Lawrence Journal World. Henry, thanks so much for joining us here.
My pleasure as always, guys.
Yeah, Henry, we'll talk maybe a couple different sports here. Want to start with men's basketball. The Jayhawks typically have a few men's basketball fans out there. They have one scholarship open if they want to use it, but they're docked one, those self-penalized, I guess you would call it, for this year or next. Are they going to fill it this year? Are they going to get it out of the way so they don't have to worry about wasting it next year, or what are we looking at?
I think the best strategy is probably to get the penalty out of the way this year. I mean, they're already so deep with the 12 scholarship players they do have and the wealth of talent they've been able to acquire. Whereas next year, you know, you're going to lose DeJuan Harris to graduation, KJ Adams, Hunter Dickinson, as well as Zeke Mayo, the Lawrence native South Dakota State transfer they got in the offseason. So with all that in mind, like next year you're going to want to have 13 players on scholarship. Right. So given that they do have the privilege, such as it is, of choosing either this year or next to only have 12, I think just simply with all the wide range of players they've been able to get aboard this time around, I would say stick with 12, maybe don't redshirt anyone. Yeah. Stick with 12.
How does the Elmarco Jackson injury maybe change things? Do we see more Raquise Passmore? Do we see more Jamari McDowell? They were very deep, but Self had said he wanted one more, and then you have Elmarco go down. And so he wanted 6 starters, and they still might have that, but it certainly changes things.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there wasn't too much time for the KU fan base to panic about it, though, because they got Shaquille Moore
like 24 hours later. 2 days
later. And within mere hours of the confirmation that it was season ending. I think Moore is probably one of the main people who really stands to benefit from this. He could be the backup point guard. He adds sort of an infusion of defense to a team that has some players who maybe aren't necessarily known for their defensive reputations. AJ Storr would be an example of that. Self has made a habit of cultivating these cohesive defenses, but he's going to kind of have his work cut out for him in some sense this year, given how many transfers there are. But yeah, I think El Marco, it's disappointing for sure, especially with such a highly touted player who seemed set to take a big step in his second year on campus. But I think between Moore and, as you mentioned, Raquise Passmore, who people seem to like a lot so far, I think they'll be perfectly fine.
And even with El Marco going down, and maybe they use that last scholarship spot, maybe they don't, but you mentioned it a few minutes ago, the depth piece seems to be in a whole lot better spot than it was last year, at least from right now with what we know.
It absolutely is, and that's even with the fact that Riley Cool never made it to campus, the Florida transfer, and neither did Wabaron Faiwan, who was a freshman commit who decommitted later, ended up going to Alabama. Even with both of those unforeseen events, they still have something resembling like a traditionally deep basketball roster, which is just a sign of how well Self and the staff identified clear needs and pursued them throughout the offseason to put themselves in the position they are now.
Well, night and day from last year, especially in the NCAA tournament when Kevin went down and Hunter was banged up and you're looking at like 5 or 6 guys on the court. Let's transition now, talk a little football. You've been on the beat at the Lawrence Journal-World for about a year now. I think football, you probably got there when it was starting to gain excitement and people were like, I think we're a competitive football team. Now there's no thinking about it. They just are. How have you seen it grow even in the last calendar year with the Jayhawk football community?
Yeah, I mean, the thought that KU and playoff would be uttered in the same sentence, even last year was inconceivable. And you know, whether they should be uttered in that context is one thing, but a lot of people are mentioning it like that, and I think it's certainly reasonable to imagine they could contend for the conference, in part because they're a really good team, but also in part because they dodge so many of the best teams on their schedule. They don't play Oklahoma State. They don't play Arizona. They don't play Utah. You know, they have tough games. They got to go to K-State. They got to go to West Virginia. They host Iowa State, and those fans will travel well down to Arrowhead for that one. But I think the road is paved for them to have a really good year, and I think people see that, and that has ratcheted the intensity of the KU fan discourse and in all facets of KU football fandom.
Henry's second appearance on K-Nation, hopefully many more to come. We appreciate you coming over.
Thank you.
Stick around with us, more K-Nation after the break.
JML Engraving Manhattan provides quality service you can count on. JML can add that personal touch to your gifts, trophies, and special occasions. JML Engraving, celebrating victories in life.
Car accident? Because your family matters. Devon James wins.
$175,000.
That means a family can pay the bills while their father can't work.
$456,000.
That means a mom and her kids can keep their home after her crash.
And $550,000?
That can take care of a man and his family during his long road to recovery.
A serious accident can affect so many people.
At Devon James, we fight for you and those counting on you.
Devon James wins. 888-8888.
Our peanut butter and jelly sale means you can save on both siding and windows. Click.
At Success Vision, I bought 2 pairs of glasses for $39, and they were ready in an hour.
I did the 2 sets of glasses for just $39.
I got 2 pairs of no-line bifocals for $79.
No-line bifocals are usually like $250, but because they make them here in the store, you can get 2 pairs for $79 in just a couple of hours.
You'll spend way less at Success Vision, but what I love is same-day service.
2 pairs for $39 in an hour for less. Come see us today, Success Vision Express.
Are y'all ready? Oh my gosh. This spring, Kelly's all new, and I am down for the ride, people.
And even more surprises.
Yeah, the Kelly Clarkson Show.
We're all new.
All new.
All new.
All new Kelly.
We're gonna have a good time. Look at this vibe already. I'm very excited.
Weekdays at 3 on 27 KSNT.
This is Entertainment Tonight. This is the Bible of show business.
Weeknights at 6:30.
Welcome back. One of the most highly touted football prospects to come out of the state of Kansas in quite some time has his list down to just 4 schools. He recently visited both K-State and KU.
Right, that's Lincoln Cure, by the way, a 5-star tight end from Goodland, Kansas, and the #2 tight end in America for the class of 2025. And he was in Manhattan, Kansas this past weekend. Cure also visited KU in the beginning of June and took official visits to both Texas A&M and Oregon, but he has not announced a commitment date yet.
Oh my gosh, I think he's going to be really good. I'm sure the Jayhawks and Wildcats are all over him. So
add another layer to the Sunflower
Once we
Showdown.
find out where he's going, we'll let you know, but I'm sure you'll hear in a hurry. Thanks for watching K-Nation tonight. Join us next Sunday and every Sunday.
Have a great night.
Good little shake.
The time that they started talking to me, they made an effort to call me every week, and that meant a lot to me.
Some workouts have been tough. What they like to say is they're dropping us in the grease, and the grease has been hot lately.